When I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
Take my hat off.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just...
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Moss?
Oh, my heart,
Happy 20th anniversary.
my heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Done.
And dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself.
The doctor lived next door to the janitor to the reverend and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
Letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Hello down to Tampa, Florida. Michael Randolph, you the man. All right, Joe Gaskins, how are you, sir?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Life couldn't be better.
Oh, yeah? David Trone was in Baltimore a couple of days ago. Martin Mitchell from Laurel, the cannabis councilman, was
Yes.
hosting him, if you will. They had a restaurant, and Trone had on this apron. He was serving tables. He wanted to get an understanding of people who wait tables, what their life is like, and how a livable wage would make their life easier. Right here in Baltimore.
You know, yeah, look. You have to appreciate the man. He works. He works hard. And
Well,
I've
you
watched
got a
him.
county,
His
you got a
movements.
county exec
What
down
kind
your
of-
way to
that
Angela
won't
also
step
said
into
she's running for
Baltimore.
the
And she
same
steps
seat.
in. Yeah, she's running for the same seat, but it seems that when she steps into Baltimore, it's either with a sorority group or some select group of individuals, and not the individuals who are at the bottom, the people who need them, the black business people, the people, as you said, the minimum wage people. She has an inability to show caring. And I think it's going to hurt her, especially in Baltimore. And I know she's taking a beating here in Prince George County too. She's not doing as
Is she?
well as I think she thought she would.
She got a lot
She's
of
not.
endorsements.
And it does. Well, does that is that votes or is it endorsements?
Endorsements
And
don't vote.
on that, Donnie, I want to say this: that I've never
Polls
seen a
don't vote either.
party. They polls don't vote either. You're right, absolutely, and neither of those individuals. And when it comes down to covering the polls, I want to see what those same individuals who endorsed her, what kind of people they're going to put at those precincts. It's normally when you have an election like this and they are not running, elected officials are sometimes a little callous. They will give you their voice support, verbal support, but when it comes to action on the ground, you won't see it in May. And I guess the only way we're going to find out what's going to happen is the closer we get there, and on those early voting and on election day in the primary, you'll see the real truth out there. But what I'm hearing is that there is a problem. There's a problem on Anna's side. Of course, Trump doesn't have that. And surprisingly, I've not heard anything negative about Trump. When I say negative, nothing negative, not anything that you could use to kind of bring this guy down. Normally, a candidate has something in his closet, but this guy has basically been a guy who's come from poor background, made it well, but didn't forget where he came from.
And he's the owner of the largest liquor and wine distributorship in the United States. So he's filthy rich. And the word on the street is if he can't beat you, then he'll buy your team. Can you imagine going up against a guy who he won't debate you? He'll just tell you people, hey, look, how much is he paying you? I'll pay you double. Come over here and work for me. How do you beat that?
And you, yeah.
I tell you how you beat it. I tell you how you
beat it. And they'll go, believe me.
Well, I tell you how you beat it. You have to out-hustle him. You have to out-hustle him. You have to outspin him. You have to outwork him. Hey, a poor man's wit will take a rich man's money. But you got to be on it. And you can't. So if you come into this with this erudite, better than thou, you're going to get your ass whipped. You'll get your ass whipped. If you don't get down and dirty with the people, you better go eat some chitlins, some hog maws. You better go to some barbecues, eat some pulled pork or whatever it takes. Yeah. But you better get down and dirty with the people. You better go to, you better go find some Muslims. You better go find some Sunni Muslims and some Nation of Islam Muslims. You better go find some Baptists, some Church of God in Christ. You better find some AKAs and some Deltas and some Omega Psi. You got to get down and dirt, and you got to own your own community. You got to own the black.
I think that's
community. But if you're a little distant, I wish you luck. And they call the people who can help you. Did you get a phone call?
Yeah, I do too. But let me tell you this from a political analyst side. There was a lot of other fights that she could have chose to get into besides running for this senatorial seat. So in hindsight,
she's running out of options.
When you're in it, what do? Well, go ahead.
She's running out of options. I mean,
3 months left.
She's term limited.
The election is in May.
And here's another thing. A lot of people don't know this about Westmore.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know this about Barack Obama. These two guys in particular planned their ascension at least 10 years before.
Yeah. That's correct.
It wasn't just willy-nilly. It wasn't just shooting at the hip. They've been planning this and putting things in place for 10 years. Now, I tell you, it's hard to be somebody that's well planned.
Yeah, and the opposition. Yeah, the opposition is well planned. Well planned. I've not been involved in the political campaign of either candidate.
I remember interviewing
but
Westmore.
I've watched closely and I've talked to Trone's camp. Yes.
I remember interviewing
Westmore
in 2013 over at the Brookings Institute. I remember in 2016 he expressed interest in running for mayor of Baltimore. And we had already been working with Sheila.
Right.
That's an interesting race. As a matter of fact, after this show, there's a press conference that we'll be attending featuring Sheila Dixon at 10:45 down at the Ruth Kirk Recreation Center. So it's an
Well,
interesting
Sheila's
race.
got support in Prince George County. She's
She better
got
get that money
support,
from
and
George County.
the present mayor. Yeah, well, that's what she needs, and that's what
What do you
she
hear?
needs to
What do
win.
you
I mean, they can't do the voting thing, but they can
what
provide
do
the
you,
money.
what are you hearing about our mayor?
I didn't hear you, Donnie.
What are you hearing about our mayor?
I'm not hearing good things about the mayor. I'm not hearing that he's distant and he does not respond back to major people who can help him. So those individuals are not being bamboozled by the fact that he is incumbent mayor. They're watching him and basically saying that's what they're going to do. They're not jumping in the pool. They're watching him. Major players are watching him, and I think he's going to have to do this by himself. He's not going to have the money to do this. The money's going to kind of stay out of the race. So it's going to be interesting. On the ground in Baltimore, hopefully it will work for him, Donnie. But he's made some major mistakes that he's now got to make up for. Whether he has enough time to make up for those states, or whether he can actually make good on something that's already bad. And I saw some recent info on his child, and God bless him and his fiance on this, but planning is key when you're doing this. So and some things you can't plan, but I think we're adults, so we could plan this one. The opportunity.
How do you think the older people, Joe? How do you think the older people look at him with this child? Do you think it's different than the way younger people will look at him?
Well, as a mayor, I think they look at him as an individual who's not responsible and who doesn't plan as per his personal life. And if you can't plan your personal life, then can you really run the city? So effectively look at his prior record, and they will see that he's got some issues running the city. Now he hangs with Wes. He's at events, but what about the people in the city? What is he doing in the city to help individuals in the city? I mean, you don't see it. And so I do say that elderly individuals will not throw stones. Black folk won't do that. They're not going to throw stones at him, but believe me, what they will do is they'll talk among themselves and others, and they'll assume that this was an irresponsible move on his behalf, because half of the time with children, having children, the children have nothing to do with this. But what kind of, not to say he's not going to be a good parent, him and his fiance, but you kind of starting off with the older individuals, not on, I wouldn't use the word moral. I don't know where moral fits in anymore with Donald Trump.
Man, I had my first child out of wedlock. I had my first child out of wedlock. My father never let me forget that. So by the time my second child came around, I was hitched up and married.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, then. And elderly individuals are like that.
In his book, it was damn near unforgivable.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And that's it. And that's your father. Okay.
He ain't playing.
So
he did not play.
He's got some things, and it's sad that but it's sad that he didn't think about this. Some things you don't think that you should think about. I think on Angela's side of the table, I want to flip over real quick to her side and talk about this on her side. Of course, she raised a child by herself, basically. And I think when it came out, and people rallied behind her. But maybe that's because she's a female. But the moral responsibility of a parent will show as you raise that child. I'm sure you raised that child well, whether you were married or not. It didn't matter. But
You got
the
to show up,
visual picture
especially as the
is what
father.
elderly individuals.
The black dad has to show up. The black dad has to step up to the
Yes.
plate. Black women have been carrying the ball. Now, I grew up in a household with a dad, but it wasn't until I was in my 40s that I realized that most of the kids I
Yes.
grew up with did not have a father in the household.
You had a very interesting background. You had two strong parents. You had a mother, father, and you came up with business people in your life, and most people don't have that. So they go through the struggle. I have a touch with a lot of people every day, even nephews who don't have the advantage of having a mother who is living or a father who is living. And so I try to be that father for them along the way to help them, but I can see the impact of them being raised in a fashion that's different.
So look, you got
Look,
you got 70% single mother households. Then you also have this mass incarceration and this 70% recidivism. So no matter how much progress we make, we're still battling these outside demons, fatherlessness, mass incarceration, recidivism, undereducation, underemployment, and these things spawn low self-esteem.
Yeah, and a housing crisis, a rental crisis, all those things that are being impacted as the younger individuals try to start a lifestyle and make a living.
And we gotta get back to the roots, like home ownership. Man, when I meet people and they tell me they pay $1,200 a month rent, it's like, dude, you could be buying a house. I'll be damn if I'm gonna pay you. I mean, even if it's $800 a month, that's enough for a mortgage. It might not be where you want, but
listen, Donnie, you said 1,200. In my area, in the Southern Maryland area, those units rental units are going for $2,200 a month. Can you imagine rental units? 22.
No.
You can't find a $1,200 rental unit in the market. No, you cannot find it. Okay, so Baltimore's housing market is a little bit different.
Guess who's moving to my neighborhood? Now I live in 21217. I live in the least viable socioeconomic state legislative district in the state of Maryland. This is the bottom. White people are moving to my neighborhood. Black people moving out, white people moving in.
Yeah, I know. I was in DC with my business when gentrification started in the city, and believe me, when you start to see white folk move into the area, you better buy. If you have not already bought, you better move back, because the numbers are going to change drastically. When they move with intent, not just to buy one house. They move with intent to change the city. And if you look at DC for what it was during my time and what it is now, it's unreal, Donnie. And that's what's that's what's going to happen in Baltimore. And for anybody who's listening on this show, on your show, please buy a home in Baltimore. Buy available homes that you can do something with. And
matter of fact, buy an 1100 block, buy in my block. The 1100 block of
Yes.
North Carrollton Avenue.
Yes.
We have houses for sale. Buy a house on my block. You know, I counted it yesterday. We've had
absolutely, and
just in my 1/3 of the block, in my third of the block, we've had 10 fires, attics,
right,
break-in, vacants,
1/3 of the block.
abandonment, bandos, and the house burns up. And now, matter of fact, they got a house across the street that's going up for auction. So, you know, it's time to invest in our own neighborhoods because it won't get any better unless we do something. But again, let me tell you this. There's a white squatter not far from here. I won't say where she live at. But when they try to squat all the time, they try to break into a bando and then make it their own. But we don't play a whole lot of that squatting crap around here.
Yeah.
We have our own task force.
Well, I don't think. Yes.
You ain't squatting nowhere around here. Squat your ass on up the block.
No, that's an unhealthy move, man. Yeah. That ain't gonna work, brother. No.
But we are not.
No. Hey, look. We need to be more astute, man. We need to understand that investments in neighborhoods, and I always think back to U Street, Calorama Road, all those areas in DC that were horrible properties. Hell, U Street now is like Manhattan. I mean, the numbers in DC are crazy. Now, you will not get there. You won't get a home in DC. I got individuals who are on North Capitol Street in DC. He told me he had a house that was paid for. His mother left him. It was $500,000. I says, man, $500,000 on North Capitol? Yes, that's the number, Donnie. So look, this is no joke. Individuals who are listening, why, as Donnie said, in his neighborhood, go out. That could be one of your best investments. I remember when those dollar homes came on the market in Baltimore when I was starting my company back in 82, 83. And people, my friends, my partners were buying $1 homes then in Baltimore.
Big brother, the big problem is Baltimore has invested in the harbor, but it did not invest in the neighborhoods.
Right. Yes.
You know, we got to get back to basics. Take care of home. Charity starts at home. Put a brand new wreck in West Baltimore. Put a brand new wreck in East Baltimore.
The next mayor.
Wow. Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm out of it. I don't have a horse
Marion did that.
Yeah, Marion. But see, Marion had a track record. He was the jobs man.
He did that.
But he had a reputation.
He put individuals to work. He created jobs. Yes.
Some say there would be no Prince George's County. They said would be no Prince George's County if it weren't for Marion.
No, that's absolutely right. That's totally true.
How many people got their first job with Marion Barry?
In the city is so many. And that's the same thing you can do in Baltimore City too, as well. You can provide individuals with jobs. Job creation is a key, and it's self-esteem.
But here's the other thing,
to be on the corner, to be on the street.
So we don't want to work. A lot of us don't want to work.
What's that?
A lot of us won't work in a pie factory.
That's true. Yeah, I agree 100%. But what I always say,
and it's jobs. There's jobs everywhere, and we can't go up there and say
the ones who want.
The Mexicans taking the jobs. No, you ain't want no damn job.
No. There's no excuse. Now, there are not enough people for jobs. It's for the job availability. There is more jobs on the market than there are people to actually serve. So, no longer excuse. But I do say this housing market is one thing you're going to have to look at the proposed agendas of the two mayors. You can look at the track record of both of them. Prior to, is a good thing about it is that you got two mayors that were mayors. You got Sheila was mayor, and then you got to look at the mayor that you have now and decide is that the direction that you want to go. You know, I'm not living in Baltimore, so I really can't make a judgment on who voters should vote. But I do say this is that if you're not treating me the way I want to be treated, then I'm not voting for you, and I'm not advocating for you.
Black people
If you're in
still
that
get
position,
treated
you're
like
not
a
doing what you're
side
supposed to
piece.
do.
Black people still get treated like a side piece in elections, whether
Yeah,
it's local, state, or federal. Our black vote is taken for granted. Our black community, like Biden, I mean, what are you waiting on? You better get busy in South Carolina. Did you see this boy Scott down there endorsing Trump? It's like, dude, his head is so far up Trump's hind parts. His head is about to come out of Trump's mouth.
look,
And it's like, damn, you get tired. You don't like seeing no death, birth of a nation, Sambo, buck dancing. It's like, damn, dude, it's 2024. You playing like you Chicken George or Fiddler or something. Django, what the hell is
right,
this?
man. Yeah,
Did you
yeah. I
see
don't know
him?
where this guy comes from with that
Did
kind
you
of.
see him?
I saw him. I saw him. I saw him. And I think Al Sharpton said that is the worst that he's ever did. And that's embarrassment. Total embarrassment. It's not embarrassment to me, but I think Sharpton said it was embarrassment to the black race. But hell, this guy's been embarrassment ever since he stepped into that senatorial position. He's been
Well, let me give
useless
you a little
and
update, Joe, because I know you got
totally
to
used.
go.
You know, I look at
Let me give you this update. The
okay.
man who owns Fox 45 has now bought the Baltimore Sun.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Armstrong Williams
Yes.
is a partner.
Absolutely.
Armstrong Williams is a partner in that deal.
Yeah, right. And Armstrong has some strong financial backers too, as well, that a lot of
Well, let me tell you
individuals
something. Baltimore don't care
know
about who you are.
of.
We don't care about who you are, what you got in your pocket. You better treat the people right. And we don't care if you black, white, Democrat, Republican. You come incorrect, we're going to bust your damn head, including Armstrong if he don't come correct.
That's right.
He will get his head bust.
And you need that needs to be done. He gets no favoritism for being for
No,
being
you don't.
a
Matter of
black
fact, you have a
person in
certain
that position.
as a matter of fact, you have a certain responsibility as a black man to maintain and hold up black pride. And if you can't do that, you will pay a price.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where it needs to be.
I
That's
pity
where it
the
needs to
fool.
be. And they cannot use. And I just found that the time coincidental that it would happen at the same time that Trump is running so hard for president. I don't think it will make a difference in Baltimore City, but
How is Trump
they're
even in the
buying
election?
a newspaper by a conservative bloc.
Why is Trump not locked up? I mean, how in the world did somebody let him be in an election? And what does the rest of the world think of us, Joe, when we got so many people that support this clown?
If that was look, I'm gonna use that analysis to your state's attorney in Baltimore, who of course is in court over fraud over money that she took her money out of her retirement plan to buy a home, and you want to get her for mortgage fraud. Now, this guy Donald Trump has broken every law with every bank with women, and he's in position to possibly be the next, again, a repeat president of the U.S. And if that happens, Well, let me just put it this way: the mentality of the people is so fragile, and I think the individuals beyond this one crazy guy from South Carolina and a few others who are out there who are black, uh, we have individuals who are left over from the the Civil War who lost, white individuals who lost slaves, and they
They took a
still
L.
angry about, yes, a big L.
Get over it. Get
And
over it.
so they can't get that. They got to get over it. It's no, we got
And you know
to
what?
move
How
forward.
can you be a racist?
But they're the block.
Hey, Joe, how you gonna be a racist, Thomas Jefferson, when you got black babies?
Yes,
You're a racist, but
absolutely.
you creeping off with the black lady every night.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
perpetrating a fraud.
No,
You are a
the
fraud.
dynamics is they dynamics do not the dynamics that we're seeing do not make sense.
Oh, did you
Not
hear
at
down
all.
in
But I
Florida?
love the fact that Nikki is finally.
She better learn how to
What's
fight.
that?
She
What
being
happened
too
in
polite.
Florida with our great governor?
She's being too polite. She got to smack him.
Oh
She
yeah,
got to smack
absolutely,
him.
absolutely, and I think she will. She has become
I
a
mean, what
different
does it say
person.
about this country?
Look,
And what do the rest of the people around the world think about us? They got to say, y'all got to be the dumbest sons of guns on the planet. You put this idiot who acts like Putin's
oh, no
girlfriend.
question. Yep, absolutely.
Joe, I know you got to go. You got to
And
go
you want
handle
him
some
back. He was
business.
in there, and you want him back again.
That's insanity.
I
Look, Joe,
definitely got to do that
I
now.
know you got
But
to go
look, it's
handle
been a
some
pleasure,
business.
and that's Donnie. He didn't hear you.
Yeah, I want to thank
Okay,
you for joining us
I
today. I know
appreciate it,
you're
man.
busy. Okay.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, appreciate it.
All right.
Thank
All right. So we have a press conference, a couple of press conferences this morning. That was Joe Gaskins, and he leads the clergy and businesses. One of the leaders in gorgeous Prince George's County. He's been a contributor to this program for a mighty long time, and we appreciate his effort. Matter of fact, some years back, he gave me the Mandela Award down in gorgeous Prince George's on a New Year's Eve. But Sheila Dixon's having a press conference today at 10:45 at the Ruth Kirk Recreation Center. Also, we will be attending the CIAA press conference over at Under Armour a little later around noon. We hope that you are registered to vote. A very important election is coming up on May the 14th here in the city of Baltimore, as well as in other jurisdictions. But we are voting for mayor of the city of Baltimore. Another race that Joe and I discussed was the U.S. Senate race, where you have Angela Also Brooks, the Prince George's County executive, going against David Trone, who is currently a congressman here in the state of Maryland. So do stay astute. Do listen to the show. We're on Monday through Friday on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Also on STEM City USA. Now, on that note, the Bay Area Conference is coming up February 15th, 16th, and 17th at the Baltimore Convention Center. And we look forward to being there and covering all of the admirals, generals, engineers, people from Lockheed Martin, and so on, who will be attending the Being Everything You Are conference, BEYA, BEYA. It originally was Black Engineer of the Year Awards, BEYA.org, on February 15th, 16th, and 17th. Dr. Taborn has been working to close the digital divide, which keeps Black and brown people on the periphery of development, even in a city like Baltimore, where we should be in the forefront. And some of us are there, but more of us need to be there. My name is Donnie Glover, and thank you for joining us. Up today, down tomorrow, do your day, and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it regardless of how I feel. I am somebody. I am my brother's keeper. Good morning, world.